So next, we are going to go on to planning. And so you can see over here on the left, we have our audiences, our objectives, our key messages, our activities, and finally collateral. So up here, we are in step 1 of 5 in audiences. So we can add notes, we can add new, and we can save. So let's just take a quick look through our key audiences here. We've selected media, key media as a primary audience, and then the reason why. Over here, we have our dots to either edit the audience or delete it. So if there's someone we have decided not to work with, then we can remove them from the plan. The Omaha community as a secondary audience, bookstores and book clubs. And so we will go ahead and add a new audience. Let's call this webinar attendees. And the justification is that they have a vested interest in Monique Farmer and her work. And we're going to go ahead and make them a primary audience. So we add, and down here, you can see that we have our webinar attendees as an additional audience. So we will save. Now we move on to objectives. As we know, as members of PRSA and working in the RPI process, an objective delineates who does what, by when, and how much. So we can see here that 20% of our outreach list will engage with Monique through purchasing books or scheduling an appearance to discuss Chart Your Path. We've got strategies for them, the metric of how we are going to measure, and the desired results. Again, over here, these 3 dots give us actions to edit or delete the audience. And we'll go ahead and cancel that because we didn't make any updates. To add new here, we choose our objective that 10% of webinar attendees will engage further with purchase or scheduling. Our strategy, we are going to reach out to them with an email following the webinar. Our audience. Now, we can add all the audiences that we identified in the previous step can be added here. So we can select key media, the Omaha community, we can select multiple audiences. And then of course, let's not forget our webinar attendees. So that's how we're going to reach out. Engage further. We will measure by number of sales and booked engagements. Desired results is sales. So we add, and then here we see 10% of webinar attendees, how we will reach out to them, and we save. Next, we go to key messages. So here we have 3 key messages laid out, followed by bullet points that support each message. So Monique understands the struggle of being stuck. We've all felt stagnant or stuck at some point. Chart Your Path provides a 9-step process to help people become unstuck. Years of working in high-stress, demanding career roles led Monique to analyze stressors and chart her own path to a more balanced and fulfilled life. The 9 steps in Chart Your Path help readers gain tools for greater perspective and upward mobility. I want to call out here in this section, we have an additional menu option for questions and potential inquiries. So when we click there, we can add a question. And so we considered that a question we might get was that someone might ask Monique, what made you decide to write a book? And her answer is that I've always wanted to write a book and share my insights. And this aligns with the key message of Monique understands the struggle of being stuck. So when we go to add a question, we've got our 3 boxes. So you can see you're going to get a drop-down menu of the key message that you want to address. So key message, how did you accomplish a full book? And here we know that Monique worked with a cohort and guidance to get that done. So that's a very short answer that we're going to put in to see how this works. So we have our 2 questions here. We'll go back to our messages. And when we export our plan, another quick note here, when we export this into a PowerPoint or a Word document, these questions are going to be printed out in their own separate sheet. So this is essentially building your FAQ right here in this spot. Also, over here on the right, we have messages per audience member. So we have, when we pick those audiences, it lines it up for us over here. And I noticed right away, we've got 2, 2, 2. We have 0 messages directed at educators. We have 0 messages directed at our internal Avant team. We just added webinar attendees, so we have 0 messages directed towards them. So we have a very clear picture of whether or not we're doing a good job reaching each of our audiences, so we can go and adjust accordingly to add a key message right there. We will save this. And then we get into activities. So we're on step 4 of 5. Notice up here, activities and tactics. And so this lays out the date that an activity needs to take place, what channel we're using. Is it paid, earned, internal, owned? What tactic we are engaging, what the status is, who the owner is, and some details right here. So let's walk through adding a new activity. So in our channel, we can choose any of these: paid, earned, social, owned, word of mouth. So let's go internal. And let's use an email as our tactic. We are going to send this email at the beginning of next week. See, we can choose the time, 12:53, right down to the seconds. So you can select the time of day that you want that done, so that your team member who looks at this can see exactly when the email needs to be sent out. Over here, we select our audience for the Avant team. Our status is in progress because we've drafted the email. We just haven't sent it yet. Jonna will be the owner. And the details will include note inviting team to the event that we're holding. So when you're building your own plan, you're going to be able to be much more specific for this, but for the sake of brevity right now, we're putting in just very basic information. Just like in the other sections, we can edit and delete. So here we have a paid channel to an external audience. We're reaching out to key media. And no, that's incorrect. We are reaching out to Monique's personal network, and we are reaching out to female. Nope, we can't add 2 audiences right there. So we're going to go with personal network. So when Monique and Brandy owned this, and so what she did was she attended a Links conference, which is her sorority, and she had a booth to sell her books to her sorority sisters. That took place on May 4th, 2024. So we'll just update this very quickly. And then we can see that it's updated right here. So we will save this. And then we move on to collateral. So we have the overall collateral that we need. What do we need to create to put this plan in motion? Well, we need talking points. We need a run of show document. We need a flyer with QR codes and business cards. We need an invitation to the event. We need flowers for the event. We need a digital ad. We need a consultant. And we also need to buy paper products for the in-person event. So over here on the right, we can see the collateral items per activity. Oh, we have a little typo there too. Monique, can you make a note so we can send that to be fixed, please?
Got it.
So you can see for the Amazon launch campaign, we have 1 piece of collateral, podcast appearances 2, 3. So this gives us an idea, and a note inviting the team to the event. We have 0 pieces of collateral discussing this, so we know we need to add that. So we select our activity, note inviting team to the event. The asset is email copy. The action owner is Jana. We only need 1 email copy because the same goes to each of them. This costs us nothing but my time, and I am a team member, so I am compensated. We don't need a location. For something like flowers, if you wanted a specific shop to be ordered from, or if you had a website to input here that you wanted to order a certain invitation from whatever website, then we will mark this in progress because we've started the email, but it's not complete yet. We do need to add a location. We must fill in all of the fields in order to add. So we'll just do that. We will take place. We'll draft the email while we're in the office. So then here at the bottom, you can see that we've got email copy will be written by Jana, and it is in progress. We can edit or delete here. And now we have a piece of collateral engaged associated with inviting the team to the event. So we will save. And that brings us through planning and into